Welcome back to the channel. We got some news. A woman was gunned down in Minneapolis by ICE agents after she tried to run them over. We got some news coming out of Venezuela. We got some news coming out of Iran. There's a lot to cover in a short amount of time. So go ahead, let's tune in. Let's get started. All right, first things first, we're going to start with the clip in Minneapolis where the woman was gunned down by ICE agents after she tried to run them over. Now, I can't show you the entire clip to where she's gunned down. Obviously, YouTube will delete the video, copyright strike, all that, right? But what I will do is show you everything leading up to the incident, and then I'll point some things out after. All right, so I paused it right where she goes to take off and almost runs over this ICE agent. Let me point him out because some people at this angle might not be able to see him. He's right here behind the one at the door. Okay, so there is an ICE agent literally right in front of her vehicle when she takes off. He fires 2 to 3 shots. Her vehicle crashes down the road. And then you can hear the bystanders, the witnesses, screaming, you know, murder. They're in panic mode. It's like they're completely ignoring, or maybe they didn't see that she tried to run this guy over. There's something called self-defense. And right now, you're already seeing all over X, the Democrats come out and calling this cold blood murder and all this stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they have to say here. ICE just shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis, a U.S. citizen. How long before we say enough is enough? Elon Musk responded, she tried to run people over. Yes, she did. This is the thing they keep ignoring, and they're doing it on purpose because they want to continue this narrative that ISIS Gestapo, that Trump and his party and the Republican Party are Nazis and that we're fascists and all this. They want to continue that narrative, okay? Don't fall for it. There's 3 different angles to that clip that show that she tried to run over that man, that ICE agent. So he defended himself. All right, so here's an update as well because the left was saying that the woman was shot by the ICE agent that was at the door side, which isn't true. She was shot by the one that she tried to run over or almost ran over in front of the car. This proves it right here. Here's the bullet hole right through the windshield. Go ahead and see what they have to say.
But it would appear, we'll see what the investigation reveals, that the shot came from in front of the vehicle. Just get your thoughts now on what we know so far.
Here you got Jeffrey Mead saying, watch, Democrats are going to do everything today except tell citizens to not obstruct law enforcement. It's not wrong. So now a mob has showed up to the area where this woman was shot down, where she tried to run over this ICE agent, and you know the fact that everybody's trying to ignore here. But the citizens don't seem to care. I don't think they care. You could show them all the evidence, but I don't think they actually care.
Watching to see authorities are responding to an ICE-involved shooting. That's how it's being described by the people in South Minneapolis right now. We now have a reporter there. Earlier today, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz posted that his public safety team is working to get more information and urge people to remain calm. And moments ago, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, said they are working to get ICE out of his state. A lot going on, or his city. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is on the ground for us in South Minneapolis. Mike.
And the police tape is up right now. As you can see, it's a several block area behind me that is tied off. The tear gas has already been used because each time you get one of these ICE events or a Border Patrol scene, you get the protesters who descend on it. That has already happened here.
Yeah, so the mayor and the governor are supposedly actively trying to look for legal loopholes to get ICE out of their state and out of Minneapolis. That's just not going to happen, okay? This woman obviously wasn't following orders, and then she tried to run over an ICE agent, whether it was on purpose or accidentally, could have killed him. So he defended himself. And that's the truth. That's what happened. Had that man not fired, maybe he would have lost a leg. Maybe he would have lost his life. We don't know. But in all honesty, I'd be surprised if Trump doesn't activate the National Guard and send them to Minneapolis after this. Because this mob that's showing up here, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few wild cards that are going to show up and do something rash and stupid after this incident here. So let's hope that it doesn't come to that, because if it does, things might get really nasty in Minneapolis. And ICE isn't going to stop. ICE is going to go and get illegal immigrants, especially the criminals, especially the fraudsters, and they're going to deport them, all right? And people should comply with law enforcement and get out the way, all right? And stop doing dumb stuff that's going to get you hurt or get you killed. All right. Now, let's go ahead and talk Iran. Over the past week, Iranian citizens have been rebelling against their radical Islamic government. Women have been taking off their hijabs, dancing in the streets. People are partying, taking over entire districts and entire cities from the government. They're trying to overthrow their government. And there's rumors that the president of Iran or the supreme leader of Iran is going to flee to Russia for asylum. So here's a video here from there. Here's another clip from Iran. The people are moving in mass. They're making their voices heard. Now, those two clips, they're interesting, but I have a clip that's far more interesting I'm going to show you here. So here's a clip coming out of Iran. Trump, Elon Musk, and Netanyahu were tagged in it. Let's take a look.
This is a historic moment. The descendants of the liberators of Normandy have once again stood alongside an oppressed people fighting for freedom, facing the world's axis of evil. From Iran.
Thank you, Trump and King Reza Pahlavi. Thank you, BP and Elon Musk.
Javid Shah, Payande Iran.
If you didn't notice, the clip here says on the sign they're holding, "Make Iran great again." Thank you, Trump. It's very interesting what's going on in the world right now. The last thing I wanted to cover here, it was Venezuela and what's going on with the oil. Apparently, an oil deal has been struck with Venezuela and the United States. Let's go ahead and see what that's about.
The United States and Venezuela have reached a deal that could see up to $2 billion worth of Venezuelan crude sent to U.S. ports. That's according to U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday. The agreement could redirect oil shipments away from China and ease pressure on Venezuela's oil sector, which has been crippled by sanctions in a U.S. export blockade imposed last month. Trump said Caracas would turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned oil to be sold at market prices, with proceeds controlled by him as President of the United States. The move follows weeks of escalating pressure on Venezuela, capped by the weekend capture of President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces, a development Venezuelan officials have condemned as a kidnapping aimed at seizing the country's oil wealth. Millions of barrels of Venezuelan crude remain stuck on tankers and in storage, unable to move under the blockade. Trump said Energy Secretary Chris Wright will oversee the operation, with oil transferred directly from ships to U.S. ports. At present, Chevron controls all Venezuelan oil shipments to the U.S., exporting up to 150,000 barrels a day under a U.S. authorization. U.S. crude prices fell more than 1.5% following the announcement, as traders anticipated higher supplies. It remains unclear whether Venezuela will see any revenue from the sales, with sanctions leaving state oil firm PDVSA locked out of global banking. U.S. officials say increased Venezuelan oil flows would support refinery jobs and help stabilize fuel prices.
I'm willing to bet that Venezuela is definitely going to benefit from this deal. What a lot of people don't understand about what happened in Venezuela and why we took Maduro, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, right? There's a collection of reasons, right? Some of the main reasons is Maduro was in charge of a cartel importing cocaine into our country, right? And other drugs, right? So you have that. He was a dictator that was working with our enemies to include Iran, Russia, and China. They were trying to form a beachhead there. They were trying to form alliances so that they could have a foothold in the Western hemisphere, right? We couldn't allow that to happen. And of course, oil is a big part of that. I think the bottom line here is Venezuelans are ecstatic. They're happy. They have their country back. And it's not quite, where it needs to be. Obviously, we just took their leader, their dictator. So they have to form a new government, a democracy that the U.S. will work with and will accept, because we're not going to accept another dictator like that. And I mean, Trump already said that he put the other dictators, the other communist regimes in the Western hemisphere, he put them on notice. Okay. So I don't know how much longer Cuba or Colombia or any other ones will last during this Trump administration, but we're going to have to wait and see. They might want to stop shipping drugs into the United States because it didn't work out too well for Maduro. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you think. Quick, short, and sweet video, and I'll try to do these at least once a day. God bless. Christ is King.